Why, hello, Internet. This is one of your friendly hosts, Dustin Vancouver of the Nerd Effect Podcast. I'm going to open up this show before we start and just let you know that apparently we have the inability to not shut up during our podcast. Our whole plan was to bring you one long show that had both the news and the Christmas list, and we just kept talking and talking and talking to the point where we had a 2-hour show. So we just decided we're just going to split the news up into its own thing and the Christmas list portion into its own thing. So we'll start there. You'll get the news first, and then you'll get the Christmas list in a couple days. So anyway, enjoy, and you guys will get the Christmas list next time. Welcome out to the Nerd Effect News Show / Christmas List.
The obligatory holiday season Christmas list special.
Special.
Wow, you didn't even need an effect for that. That was pretty cool.
Fuck you and your technology. I've got my own echoes, bitches.
Goddamn right.
Because it's the most wonderful time of the year, you guys.
And I am one of your nerd hosts / anchors / people, Dustin Vancouver, joined by my buddies.
Mason, Ireland.
Nikki hopped up on Serge Prindle.
Yay! So, for those of you not in the know, because this will probably come out before the video does, we're jacked up on Serge. And
Because we made a video about Surge.
Because I bought Serge. You guys, I bought Serge.
Do you remember Surge from the 90s? Yeah, that's Surge.
You can buy it again, but only on Amazon and only for lots of money. Yeah, worth it.
See,
Worth it.
listen to it right now.
Oh, that's disgusting. Please don't do that in my ears ever again. I
Do
will
not
punch
ever
you.
again do that in my ear holes.
Oh, that sounded pretty cool myself.
Well, you were also making the noise.
It was in my ears, too.
It's like when you're the person running the fingernails down the chalkboard, it doesn't bug you as much.
No, still bugs the shit
That
out
still
of me.
bugs shit out of me.
No.
Kind of feel like I need an ear tampon now, but okay.
Just
That
got
makes sense, but
menstrual up in this shit, yo.
Just got menstrual.
No, okay. K-Flay has this line where she's like, "Rhymes so menstrual, I need a tampon in this shit," or something like that. It's like flow so menstrual. That's what it is. Yeah, it's
Play on words.
she's hilarious and hot and a lady rapper. And anyways,
Boom.
word tampons. This got weird. We should stop
All right. Well, the first half of this show, we're gonna bang out some news
and disturb you with word tampons.
and slurpy Surge sounds. So we're gonna bust through the news. Second half of the show, we're gonna go right down our Christmas list, which is just in time for the fact that we're an Amazon affiliate now. So
If you buy these things, buy them through us.
yay!
Yeah.
There is this.
Nerdeffect.com.
Not that we really care how you spend your money, but if you really wanna just
you're
help
like,
us out,
hey, that thing they're talking about sounds really awesome, and I'm going to buy it for myself or my significant other. You could be like, oh,
Or any other nerd that I like that I want to spend the money
if
on.
I'm going to
Including
buy
yourself.
it anyways, I might as well buy it and support this podcast that I like and also get for free.
and it means it does nothing.
You have really complicated thought processes, by the way.
And it does.
We appreciate your very complicated.
The bonus is that's your only step. All you gotta do is go to our website, click the link, check out like normal, and
Yep.
you won't even nothing. It just all
Doesn't
happens
cost
on the back
you a
end.
damn thing,
Not a goddamn
except
thing.
what you were going to spend anyway.
The only problem is that if you have an ad blocker, you may need to turn it off for half a sec. But you love us, so that's the
worth
only
it,
ad
you
on our website,
guys.
and it's not like it'll damage you.
Help fund your favorite poop jokes.
Yes,
And that's what she said lines.
and
Yes.
your favorite monkey tits.
Brought to you by the Nerd Effect crew.
Yay!
Duh, look at our cute nerdy dimples and our rosy cheeks, and give us your money through Amazon.
Do it or
Anyway,
if we find out you bought something through Amazon without doing it through our link,
Oh, we will break your
hunt
kneecaps.
you down. And I'm sure Amazon really appreciates us saying that.
We will. I can tie 2 Surge cans together like nunchucks and come after you.
Oh man.
Full Surge cans. And then you know what? I'm going to open it in your face.
I want to see.
Oh!
You better call me beforehand because I'm going to videotape that shit.
Surge chunks! I almost made Dustin do a spit take all over his laptop. I apologize.
No more podcast.
And
well.
the shoe fizzles out, yeah.
It just zapped my computer.
All right.
Womp womp.
So, ready for this news thing?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hi, Bible.
Yeah,
We're here for reasons other than molesting
that was completely
earholes.
racist, and I'm sorry.
I'm offended.
That sounded more Japanese than Korean anyway. Ready?
Incorrect
Kai, Bible.
You too.
All right.
The heat is on.
Kai, Bible.
Mike.
Stuck one with the rock, and I beat it.
Surge!
It's snowing.
Eventually, we're going to have to do rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
We'll
We
figure
need
it
to
out.
learn it
Yeah, we need a
first.
chart for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a very
Well,
detailed
one
diagram.
of us can get the shirt or something.
No,
Well,
I need
and
a
we have
detailed
internet, so if it really.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my news today, Oppa Gangnam Style. Yeah.
Oh.
So if you haven't heard, Gangnam Style actually broke the YouTube counter. So the counter for the Gangnam Style video basically stalled out at 2,147,483,647.
Which,
Go ahead.
okay, say which is the number of addresses you can have in a 32-bit operating
It
system.
broke their counter?
It
Totally.
broke.
Where will they make their sandwiches? Oh. I've been saving that, you guys. You don't even know. You don't even know. It's snowing.
Yeah. So, just YouTube seriously did not expect anybody to be able to hit over like 2 billion counts
That's a
video
lot
views.
Of counts.
So, it looks like they already have changed it to a 64-bit
Yes.
on there, so it is working now.
So what's the extra? What's the extra count that it can get up to at this point? Because now I can just see the internet going and clicking the shit out of it just to get
no,
the views
it's-
to count up.
It's
It's ridiculous.
exponentially bigger.
It's not just double.
It's we'll see. Okay, when you
numbers.
okay, Ninja. Okay,
like the-
okay.
Go ahead.
If with 1 bit, you can have 2 states on and off. Okay, the next up is 2 bits, which gives you 4 states. 4 bits gives you 16 states.
Yes. Okay. I got you.
So when you go from 32 bits to 64 bits, you're not just doubling the amount of states you have. It's exponentially
Multiplied,
larger.
yeah.
So a lot. Like you can get up into
Get
petas.
clicking, nerds.
I think.
Yeah. Get the clicking. I want to
think
see
you
some
got-
fingers
You
bleeding.
get up to numbers we haven't heard of.
I think you get up to petas.
Offhand, I'm thinking it's like the 2 billion
that
some
that-
number I just read off times the 2 billion number
Yeah.
I wrote off.
Yeah, it's
Wouldn't
And
pedos
it's
be
ridiculously
people that
big.
say that they're there to help animals, but they really aren't?
well. Okay, you have
that was-
you have megas, which are
I
millions.
was making a PETA joke.
I know.
Oh.
People eating tasty animals.
I'm allowed to like bunnies and
animals
think they taste
are
good
delicious.
I know people eating tasty animals.
too. They're
Pigs,
adorable and yummy.
Yes.
Come on, people. I love animals. I own 2 cats. They is so tasty.
They came running up to me today when I went to your house. And it made
Speaking
me
of
so
Mike,
happy.
how did their bath go?
You gave your cats a bath?
No.
You didn't hear the last show? Oh man,
No, she didn't hear the last show.
No,
Oh.
you missed it. It's
you may have
okay.
saved your ears, but
It's okay. It's
Well,
fine.
you're bright red, so I
Yeah.
think that means I don't want to ask questions. Because nothing embarrasses Mike.
if Joni Brosis listened to that last podcast and ever speaks to us again, it'll be a miracle.
It wasn't
Mike
that
was
bad.
bad.
It wasn't that.
Michael Morgan!
What?
Get grounded.
Fine.
Go to your room. But wait, give me a ride first.
Anyway, so Gangnam Style. And next, Mason.
Oh, great. So, I'm sure everyone out there has heard of the now famous Hobby Lobby decision by the U.S. Supreme Court saying that basically
Assholes get to be assholes if they're
assholes-
assholes with a religion.
yeah, basically as long as
Sorry.
you want to not do something for a religious reason, you can. Like if you don't want to pay the federally mandated insurance that for your employees because you don't want your female employees to have abortions or birth control.
Okay, can I interject real fast as a female on the birth control issue? I take it. Me getting pregnant is not an issue. In case you're new to the show, I don't like wieners. It's a thing. I'm not worried about getting pregnant. I take it because my hormones are made of hate and rage and are trying to destroy my body. And birth control is not just for keeping little babies out of you.
Right. Actually, I know a lot, not just you, I actually know a lot of women who take birth control at all ages, from like the teenage years on up, specifically to help control their hormone flows, not to not have kids, but to be able to act sane and normal.
Yeah. No, I have a thing called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I know this is too much girl talk for you guys, but whatever. I feel like people need to talk about this thing because I didn't even know it was a thing.
And it's a big thing. A lot of women have it.
It's like 8 out of it's like 4 out of 10 women or something crazy like that. And it's basically my body is super insulin resistant, which makes all the hormones go batshit crazy, which is why I gained weight and had crazy zits for years. And it turns out it's why I have a lower registering voice for a female. It also means, TMI, my ovaries look like pomegranates, which is how they diagnose you with it. But taking something nice and simple like birth control, tiny little pill, once a day. Gonna have to take it until I hit menopause. Not because I think I'm gonna have babies, but because it keeps me from aggravating pain and needing hysterectomy at the end.
Pardon my ignorance here, but does like the depot shot or anything like that have the same effect as...
I don't know.
No, depot shots work differently.
I didn't look into it because I just took the first thing my doctor suggested, and it
also
worked.
for non-birth control purposes, like in other words, for purposes like Nikki, and hormone regulation purposes, the pills are better because it is easier to adjust dosages. And it is also something that if something happens and you need to take another more important life-saving pill,
it doesn't
and that birth control interacts badly with, you can stop.
Yeah.
Whereas like Depot, that is in your system for, I think it's 3 years, and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have noticed that my skin's cleared up fairly significantly, except for right now.
No, it's still a lot better than...
Yeah, it is.
You got like one pimple on your chin.
I have like 2, and they're driving me nuts. But for those of you who don't know me, I have suffered from cystic acne my whole life, and that's not just normal zits. That is the full-on deep, angry, we are infected and hate you and leave scars zits. And that was linked to the PCOS. I got put on birth control, it stopped.
Yeah.
So people saying that they don't want to pay for birth control because it's against their religion makes me personally so angry because I'm not on it because I don't want babies.
Well, and it's not even that may not even be the case because it's not even just pregnancy, but you're also going against God because you're taking something that's not.
Yeah.
Well, but these same people are going to take
are
still going to take chemo drugs
and
antibiotics because they don't want to die. And they're not. So if you want to make that argument, then you have to make it against all drugs. Because they're all going against God if you make that argument.
And if one of them needed to take birth control for this reason, I can guarantee you they'd find a way to justify it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, sorry. That was my little rant because that is a thing that I personally am fairly involved in emotionally because birth control, like, I know so many lesbians on birth control. Not because they think they're going to get knocked up and want to murder the tiny fetuses. It's because... It's because sometimes people's hormones don't work the way that they're supposed to, and it can cause all sorts of other damage. Like, I have to get tested for cholesterol and diabetes every year. I'm 30, I'm super high at risk for cancers. I'm basically pre-diabetic. I've got, like, all these issues now because of this, and, I wonder sometimes if I'd gotten on the birth control sooner, if that would have... helped more, yeah. So it's, sorry, okay, I had to get that rant out because it just makes me angry when I hear that argument. I'm like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I also think the long and short of it too is that even if the government or whoever just...
I'd like to point out I haven't even gotten to my story yet.
Sorry.
Oh, well.
Sorry. Well, I feel like as a lady I was entitled
No, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
I was just like factoiding actually.
I know.
But
well, Mason, you make it.
Okay.
But I'll speak after you're done.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting.
My bad.
So basically what the ruling says is that if for a religious reason you don't want to do what the government says when it comes to medicine, you don't have to. So the Church of Satan, in their infinite lovely wisdom, has brought up the point that there is a lot of states that have what are called informed consent abortion laws, where basically the highly Christian states that have these laws basically force women to read very biased literature that is written
Probably by white older men.
Men, to specifically try to influence them to not have an abortion. They are required to see pictures of the fetus, ultrasound pictures, obviously, because it's still inside
Because you
their
know
body.
what the world needs more of? Unwanted children.
So
raised by horrible, underqualified parents.
So
right?
Right. So basically, that the Hobby Lobby ruling basically says that if you state you are a Satanist, even if you're not, because it doesn't really matter, because
what are they going to do? Check your ID?
Well, no, you can state you're of a religion.
No, I know
that makes you of that religion.
That's the point I was making.
Yeah,
it's not like it's.
So you could state you're a Satanist and don't believe in informed consent laws, and then they would have to technically allow you under that Hobby Lobby decision to have the abortion without forcing you to go through all that bullshit.
So basically, thanks Hobby Lobby.
So yeah, thanks Hobby Lobby and thanks Church of Satan for pointing out the dumbassedness of the Hobby Lobby decision and showing that there are two sides to every coin. Because, the Hobby Lobby decision, the Hobby Lobby was trying to, was trying to force their religious views on people, and the same decision can now be used by people to avoid people's religious views being forced upon them.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it too.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting.
And I got a good little rant in.
Yes.
Guys.
And now Hobby Lobby looks like a bunch of douchebags.
Well, they
not that they didn't
already.
before.
I know,
but
I can honestly say I've never shopped there, and I love me some craft stores.
Yeah,
but there's so many other options like Michael's and what's
Joann's.
Worked
there 3 years.
What's the one up on Eagle Road? And
oh God, Craft Warehouse.
I love me some Craft
Warehouse. Oh my
Warehouse.
God, it's like a dirty porn store for crafty nerds.
It is.
Except their paints aren't high enough quality.
Well, then you go to quality art down.
Their yarn section.
Their quality art doesn't actually. I'm talking about miniature paints.
It's just acrylic, isn't it?
No.
Oh my God, you're gonna fight now! Stop it.
I was just curious.
No, they are acrylic paints, but they're acrylic paints. Well, all paints. You grind up physical materials into a fine powder,
like egg yolks,
right,
to make
for tempera.
Yeah, tempera uses egg yolks, for example, but you grind them up into a fine powder to make the pigments for the paint.
Right, usually metals like cadmium and
right.
Yeah.
That's why the cadmium blue, for example, is made out of cadmium.
You guys tell that there's art nerds on this podcast.
Cobalt blue.
Yeah, cobalt blue is another one. They don't actually use cobalt for that one anymore. Something about the radiation.
I was watching Jeopardy, and there was a kid on it named Cerulean.
Nice.
I'm like, your mom's named you Blue because he had two moms. It was Jeopardy kids, and this kid had two moms, and they.
But Cerulean's kind of a cool name.
It is, I know, but I was like, that's the nerdiest.
Yeah.
Let's have a kid and name him Blue.
Yeah.
We just figured out Cerulean
with
clues.
Miniature paints, most normal acrylics that you find are not ground fine enough because of the minuscule amounts and the thinning that you do to miniature paints. Mm-hmm. If you had regular acrylic paint, simply the grind is not fine enough on them, and you get chalky and or clumpy looking miniatures.
Kind of gritty.
Yeah.
Yep. Been there, done that.
True grit. Would you say?
Oh.
John Wayne bitches. Not to be confused with John Woo bitches.
Both are Johns who are awesome though.
It'd be funny.
I kind of want to actually see that movie happen.
John Wayne comes in and says Pilgrim, and then like fucking doves fly over his head.
Oh my God!
With
please.
2 6-shooters.
Yeah.
Somebody
shoots the bad guy
through the air.
Flies through the air, shooting the bad guy's hats off.
Oh
yes.
John Woo Wayne bitches.
John Woo Wayne, yeah.
Woo Wayne clan.
The Woo Wayne clan. What?
Why is this not a thing?
Oh.
All right. It's on the internet now. It's someone else's responsibility to make it a thing.
Animators,
Copyright
do
Nerd Effect
something.
News.
No shit. You're welcome.
Yes.
For my brain farts.
Also, passing on the news to Nikki.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I have a thing that's not crocheting that I need to have in front of my face. Hi. I'm not frantically working on last-minute Christmas presents, you guys. What are you talking about?
You should see this completely epic Yoda that Nikki has crafted.
After he goes to his rightful owner, because he's not actually for his rightful owner, so I don't want to say anything else about it. It's a gift for someone.
Yes.
And I don't know who. So, but he is pretty badass.
Yes.
Yes.
He is epically awesome.
He's like 18 inches tall and full of wind. And he's wearing a bathrobe.
That's not a bathrobe, it's a Jedi robe.
Yeah, but it kind of looks like a bathrobe
That's
when you
because
crochet
all
it.
bathrobes... Oh, yeah, okay. Because it's crocheted kind of...
Crochet clothing just has a tendency to look like terry cloth. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
On the topic of Jedis, while she looks up her news real quick.
Yeah. Lightsabers, people. Lightsabers.
Oh, not even that, but I was going to say, Mike Dodd, God bless him, put up, apparently there was an Etsy store out there that basically, like, why hasn't this idea happened sooner, considering the amount of time that Star Wars has been around, but somebody created lightsaber-themed dildos.
Oh, no, they've existed
Those
for a
have
long
been
time.
around for a while.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. I mean, the comment chain that happened afterwards was
No, because
amazing.
I remember accidentally finding those on the Googles, like, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago.
I think my comment was something along the lines of, they need to add force effects to it so it sounds like you're having a lightsaber duel with your vagina.
That is the thing that they should do.
It's just
Because I have a friend who has a collection of dildos because she thinks they're fucking hilarious. And I would buy her one if it made
and they
lightsaber
are.
noises.
One of my favorite movie scenes of all time, is in the movie Sorority Boys, where they have the fucking dildo sword fight. It is the most amazing thing you'll ever watch.
Okay,
on
but
screen.
here's the thing. Finding someone else's dildo, traumatic experience. I say someone else's not because I've had one, but because I found my roommate.
Well, in this particular case, it was
Yeah,
the
by
movie.
the way.
In this particular case, in the movie, it was like literally. I think maybe it's just because it's a sorority house, but there was just like a bucket of dildos, like
That's
next to the
disgusting.
staircase.
Yeah, no, I had a roommate.
That's just disgusting.
I had a
man.
roommate
That
who
was
disappeared
happens.
before our lease ended, and I had to pack up her
Oh.
shit. And I unrolled one of my towels, and out of it flops this giant neon orange dildo, and I burned the towel, and it was awful.
The reason there was a bucket of dildos is because the fraternity house across the street was fucking getting one of those like man-sized slingshots and like hurling them across the
Oh my god, that's
and
hilarious.
smashing them through the windows of the sorority
That
house.
is fucking funny.
That's why there was a bucket of dildos by the
That's an
staircase.
expensive prank.
It is very
I went
expensive.
into what's that place out on Fairview?
But Sorority Boys, go see it. It's awesome.
The dirty store?
Romance Unlimited.
No, the one that's been around forever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Adam and Eve.
No, that hasn't been around forever.
That's also on Fairview. Adam and Eve's been around forever.
Pleasure
but it was
Boutique.
Yes, Pleasure Boutique.
I went
Yes,
there
but
with
it
a
wasn't
friend.
local.
But it was online exclusively for a long time.
I went there with a friend who was trying to find a corset and was wandering the store while she was trying shit on, and those things are not cheap. No. Those people pay good money for their fake wieners. Like, it's and they had this one called the All-American Challenge.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm holding my fist up right now, but it was really more like this.
She's two-fisting it now.
Yeah, and it was called the All-American Challenge.
If you fit it in, you get to keep it for free.
I don't know. I want to know what the prize is for this challenge because I'm just curious, first of all, how you establish that somebody has accomplished this challenge.
Well, photos, obviously. You're in an adult store, man.
Photos or it didn't happen, yeah.
Pics or GTFO?
Yeah. Just be careful if you Google it.
Don't Google it. Just don't. I'm going to tell you right now, don't. Oh, I don't need to pull up my news because that's the link to the actual video. So from dildos to space. Do you think that there's...
Dicks
Space dildo?
in space.
Do you think that there's space shuttle dildos? I kind of want to Google
There
it, but I don't
probably
want to
are.
Google it. Somebody else Google it.
The rockets are already phallic enough.
I know. Somebody Google it. I don't want to.
Google what?
I'm not Googling it.
Space shuttle dildo.
No.
Oh, like a dildo shaped like a space shuttle?
Like Mike's doing it.
Mike's
awesome.
on it.
Anyways, so
He's like, I'm going to regret this.
Probably.
Orion,
Funded by NASA. Like, it's made of memory foam.
You
like,
know, they would reclaim a lot of their funding that way.
Yeah.
That would be a really, like, that's better than any bake sale I've ever heard of.
they got a mold of Chris Hatfield and his wang.
Colonel Chris Hadfield. He wouldn't lower himself to that.
A mold of Bill Nye and
No, stop.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Why are you imagining their wieners?
I'm
Stop
not.
it.
He's a brother.
Dustin is.
He's probably got it down.
Dustin, stop, please. You're ruining science.
I hope somebody asks him.
You're ruining science.
How am I ruining science?
Well, Mike's-
Are you
Okay,
kidding me?
so-
I am funding that shit
Wait,
right
wait,
now.
wait, wait. Mike has results.
Okay, so you guys remember that thing about somebody did a pork chop that was on a fork and they had a camera and they stuck it on a balloon so it would go up into like low orbit, and then the balloon pops and it falls down and they pick up the camera and get the footage, right?
Right.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but
why would you
I'm-
say a pork chop?
It's the thing that happened. That was on my newsfeed.
I know they put him in a padded box.
No, it was like it was some promotion this guy was doing for his book. Okay, he took like a little camera
And he tacked it
and
to a
mounted it to it, and it had
pork
like
chop?
a fork sticking out, and there was a pork chop on it. And his like book was called Pork Chops in Space.
Oh, so it was like a shot of the pork chop floating
Yeah,
around.
so it was a picture of the pork chop, and he had it go up on this
Into low orbit.
Yeah, like low orbit picture, video of this pork chop in space, and then the balloon pops, it falls down, they pick up the
Yeah.
off the GPS.
the liquefied pork chop.
Well, the first thing I had pull up when I did Space Dildo was basically something like that, but it very much looks like it's a dildo strapped to
At the end
some
of a fork?
contraption that's being ballooned it up. Not on the end of a fork, thankfully.
Well, see, you were supposed to
But
look
the
up
thing is,
space
I
shuttle
don't-
dildo is why.
Space shuttle dildo, okay,
Yeah,
but
space dildo.
I'm just so confused as to what the hell this thing is. I don't know if it's like some sort of scientific instrument, if it actually is a dildo. It's weird.
It's probably
We should.
a dildo.
That needs to be a fucking thing on the internet.
scientific instrument or dildo.
and just have it be like
Just close-ups
close
of,
up
like,
shots
knobs
of
and shit.
yeah.
Knobs.
God.
I meant like dials, but it worked. So anyways,
double entendres
my news is
unintentionally.
not dildos. My news is Orion going up into space and not exploding, and awesome things happen, and we're going to Mars in like 15 to 20 years, they said, and we're going to go to asteroids, and it's going to be amazing, and there's going to be frilzy space flight, and there's this really cool video that we're going to link to, and you can watch it, and there's fire, but it's good fire.
with cameras attached to it and low orbit space flights
And
and
it's so pretty, and you can see the little panels pop off, and you can hear the chatter. And I watched it like 3 times, and then I made Ange watch it with me on the TV because I wanted to see it on a screen bigger than my phone. And it was awesome, and I even emailed it around work because I'm like, everybody needs to watch this. We started our day off with space things, and now we're gonna finish my news story off with space dildos because Mike's got a weird look on his face.
I'm not really buying anything. So
Oh, amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I
So
was gonna
NASA,
say,
get on that. Get your money back.
I was
call
gonna
it the
say that-
Orion.
the closest
my
thing
God,
I'm
yes.
actually getting is that weird one where it was on with
Yeah.
some sort of contraption. Other than that, it's like spaceships that kind of look like a penis.
Oh, yeah. So Libby sent me on Pinterest. There is a crochet pattern for the space shuttle. Like, it's like
And
pillow
is it a
sized.
dildo cozy?
No, it's a space shuttle. I was going back to not dirty things.
And actually, that's the first picture that came up.
A
The-
dildo cozy?
No, the
The space shuttle crochet thing?
spatial crochet. It's the
Yeah.
first one. See, right there.
Yeah. Yep, that's the exact same one.
Yep.
And it's the first pattern I've ever bought on Etsy, and I'm going to
So-
crochet me a
So wait,
space
you googled space
shuttle.
shuttle
Yeah,
dildo.
so if you want to see the crochet space shuttle, just get on Google.
Google
type in
space shuttle dildo. I'm going to tell Libby that. That's
is
so funny.
beautiful.
Oh.
Poetic, really.
That is amazing. It all just comes full circle, you guys. I like how my crochet pattern story tied into that, and I didn't even know it until Mike
Yeah.
told me.
Oh, that's horrible.
Okay.
Okay, so the other one they got here is it's a picture of the fuel tank from the space shuttle when they're like carting it around, and it's titled or captioned, "They finished your mom's dildo."
Oh, memes for the win.
Oh, I like that one so much.
And because segues are hard, Dustin, what's your news?
Because we're going from
Space dildo.
Just-
space dildos
I
to
like-
wrestling.
How mine was
Weird.
going to...
It's all phallic and
You know,
vaguely homoerotic.
We came in here, and I said, I'm just going to fangirl about NASA. And it turned into fucking dildo hour over here. Like, I think they're disgusting, and it's funny that the space station looks so phallic.
We're so amazing.
So yeah,
We are layered individuals, like Shrek in the Onion thing. In Shrek. Yeah.
Doesn't
Got a lot of
make you
layers and they
cry.
all stink.
But they do get fresher as you get to the center.
Yeah, you peel off those gross outer layers and the inside's not even bruised, you guys. Onions.
So the cream rises to the top, I hear.
Cream rises to the top. That's a Randy Savage thing, so it's not even who I'm talking about. But one of his inspirations was Randy Savage, so I guess it counts. Anyway, CM Punk broke the internet.
Not
as hard as Gangnam Style, but
or Kim Kardashian probably. But so for those of you not in the know, because I'm a huge wrestling mark, which means fan.
Wow, they've got a word for it?
Yep.
It's also
wrestling has like its own language on the inside. It's pretty crazy.
Super nerdy.
I like how they use the word mark, which also means target of criminal enterprise.
Yeah.
And wrestling is, as everyone knows, fake. Not that the guys are not athletic men who actually exercise and work out to become the athletes they need to be to do the fake
they are athletes.
wrestling.
Well, they do get their
athletes.
asses kicked handed to them too, but they do their best to avoid getting injured.
It's
Yeah.
wrestling with a soap opera attached.
Yeah.
So anyway, CM Punk back in January ended up on a whim, just basically stopped, just quit, just said "fuck you guys, I'm out of here." And so for months it's been like, well, what's the true reason he's left? Is he coming back? What's the deal? He was mid-contract. I think he was contracted through July, so he still had like 7 months left. So like, so what happened? So recently in the last week or so, he went on Colt Cabana's podcast. Colt Cabana is another professional wrestler who he's been friends with pretty much since in the indie days. You know, they've run in the same circles and stuff like that. So, due to the court settlement, he wasn't allowed to talk about the situation until a certain date or whatever. So he finally opened up about it on Colt Cabana's podcast. And the reason he went to Colt Cabana's podcast is because they've been friends forever, and he knows that Colt Cabana isn't going to have an ulterior motive,
Right.
to, Shanghai him or try and get money out of him or pay him or anything like that, because none of that interests him. He has enough money. So on the podcast, he basically, and the speculation has been that he left for personal reasons. Obviously, it turns out some of those are basically the primary ones are basically because of his health. Now, wrestling on the backside is a very, very dirty business. WWE has done things to try and make it cleaner, hired an on-site medical staff, all sorts of fun stuff. But even that shit ends up turning shady sometimes. So, in this case, Punk had been injured several times. He was sick. He had like a fever for like 4 months straight, trying to figure out why. And but they kept signing him to shows to do things, and he'd always show up and do his job. And then finally, he ended up getting this bump on his back that he was trying to figure out what it is, and the doctor just said, "Well, just put a Z patch on it," which is basically an antibiotic patch.
Yeah.
And they just Z patched him straight for like 4 months basically, and it did nothing. It wouldn't go down.
That's not healthy. You shouldn't be having
that
much antibiotics being used into your system.
It gave him diarrhea so bad he shit himself on Friday Night SmackDown. Like it was that bad. So he finally said, "Fuck it, I'm done." Like he said he had fractured ribs from a kick that he took from Ryback and stuff like that he was trying that they wouldn't take care of for him. So basically he had to get out before it killed him.
Yeah.
And then so after on the podcast, after the fact, he went and saw a medical doctor outside of the WWE's doctor and said, "This is a fucking staph infection, sir. The fact that you're not dead right now is very amusing." So they lanced that shit, and he said it was the most painful experience of his entire life, and he's taken shots by some of the biggest people in wrestling now.
I've had a staph infection. It sucks ass.
But it was like, I don't know, like
I bet it
this
was
big around. He
huge.
said it was gigantic. He said the pressure built behind it hit the ceiling when they lanced it.
Oh, yeah.
He had to lay down on his stomach.
I've got a scar on my face from when they had to. I got it in like junior high. I don't even know what from. I never had surgery or anything like that. But yeah, that sucks. If that went on for that many months, I bet that thing was gnarly.
Yeah, and every time he took a bump to his back, it was just amazing. Like he said, it was just blinding.
I can't even imagine.
But he on top of all of that, so when he left, he was still trying to figure out the stuff through WWE, trying to get his money situated, and all that stuff, which is all kind of beyond the point. So when they had asked him, "Are you coming back or whatnot?" he said no. He's also the husband of a WWE diva named AJ Lee, and when they got married, I think in July or so, on his wedding day, WWE, he claims, maliciously sent him basically documents that said you're fired.
Yeah. Well, considering WWE was probably aware of what day he was getting married.
Mm-hmm. And they did.
So that's just a completely douche move. I mean, wait 2 weeks, let them get back from their honeymoon, then have life start again.
Right.
But,
CM Punk's not the kind of guy, you can just tell in the way he talks and the way he puts himself out there. He has no reason to lie about anything. He's very straightforward with a lot of things, whereas WWE, as the corporate monster, basically, that it is, kind of has to be very PC about everything that they say.
Right.
And can't say too much without putting themselves in legal trouble or legal, way. Vince McMahon was then later on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, and basically gave this half-assed apology to CM Punk, saying, "We're sorry, we didn't know it was your wedding day, blah, blah, blah."
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. And it was very quick.
Considering
when one of your wrestlers marries one of your other wrestlers, you're aware it's happening.
Yeah.
Probably are friends with some of your other wrestlers who are going to be going to the wedding.
Yeah, just they knew.
Gotta put that out there.
Yeah. So then recently, we're talking yesterday, actually. This was the kicker. This is the reason why I actually brought this topic up instead of the one I was gonna do, which I can't remember what it was now. But CM last night was UFC 181, and CM Punk was there, and then later was interviewed by Joe Rogan saying that he has now been officially signed by Dana White to fight for UFC.
Oh.
Now, CM Punk is trained in jiu-jitsu by the Gracies, and also kind of has a mediocre background in Muay Thai, but
my brother does that,
and he wants to basically get into the middleweight class, or maybe even welterweight, depending on what it looks like. Basically, like the 185 range. He said he'd be willing to get down to the 170 range if
how big he's from in his prime for wrestling, when he's in shape, ready to go, dude's got to weigh at 225 at least.
At his biggest, he was about 225. He got down to about 185, I think, by the end of his career.
Okay,
but the
that was probably related to the staph infection.
No, he basically as he was coming into wrestling, promoters would tell him that he needs to bulk up. He needs to bulk up because wrestling is kind of, especially in the WWE, has been known for its game of giants. Mm-hmm. Like most of the wrestlers are gigantic because that's Vince gets a hard on for.
I was going to say, but there's only so many Andres and Big Shows.
No, we're talking like Dave Bautista, Triple H, The Rock. They're all 6'5", almost hitting 300 pounds.
Yeah. Of
just solid muscle, whereas he's scrawnier than that. Basically, he's scrappy.
He's not a scrawny guy.
No, he's not. He's
relatively speaking, in the big picture, he's scrawnier.
He's average size, but he's super athletic.
Yeah.
But so Dana White signed him to UFC, and he didn't mention that on the podcast. But obviously, he probably wanted to keep it a secret, and he probably told Dana that we'll premiere that at the next UFC event.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of just broke the internet. There'd been speculation that he would probably go to UFC, but it was never official. And so he signed, and he was actually very much not interested in basically ever going back to wrestling again because of what he went through. It just kind of.
That would sour anyone.
Yeah. It just basically broke his heart. He's like, I can't go back. He's like,
You got treated by shit by them. Or
treated
shit by them.
And him and Triple H is the COO. He's also Vince McMahon's son-in-law. So, and him and Triple H never got along, ever.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't like each other. So
That's that's business though. Like when you're in entertainment, like there's a lot of actors who hate each other, like they don't get along. But when it comes to making a movie or a TV show or whatever, they go to work and they do their jobs.
Right.
As like when I see wrestling like that, and okay, CM Punk and Triple H hating each other. The way I see it is that's fine. Like they can hate each other all they want off stage, but when they are wrestling or doing the bumps between bouts and stuff, whatever, they have to act their parts. They have to be Triple H and CM Punk, the characters.
right, and they are, and but you're not gonna harm a human being, let alone somebody who's also an asset to the company, because
Right.
you're putting so many millions of dollars into whoever.
Right, exactly.
But backstage there just was bad blood. They just did not like each other.
Yeah. I mean, and also I can see CM Punk going, I don't have to deal with the douchebag anymore.
Oh yeah,
Being
he
happy
does. He
about
does.
that.
He's like I haven't been this happy in forever. He wrote what did he write? He wrote a couple of comics for Marvel recently while he was off from wrestling. Like he wrote some comics.
He's also been doing a lot of stuff with Nerdist News.
Nerdist. Oh god,
His grammar Nazi thing.
that was before he even left WWE though.
Yeah.
I
That was
think.
amazing though.
Yeah. Or was it after? It may have been after.
No, he started that last year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like he was already doing it and then just kept doing it after he left, I think.
Yeah, but he even said he said that in Colt's podcast that he'd been doing some stuff recently, even for Nerdist. So yeah, him and Chris Hardwick are buddies. It's funny listening to them. In fact, the interview while he was still in WWE, Chris Hardwick went and paid a visit to his CM Punk's place in Chicago and did a podcast with him.
Yeah. It's
And
fun.
all they did was talk about all the awesome shit that he has around his house. Like he's got old movie posters and comics and stuff
Yeah.
like that. He's like the advent of. He had mentioned what was it that he's like when I was back in wrestling, I had to carry my comics in a friggin' duffel bag wherever I went because I couldn't read comics on the road otherwise.
Yeah, because you had to carry the physical comic books.
Yeah,
with
you didn't
you.
have digital download yet, so
Yeah, but now you download Comixology to your tablet.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
and go. But yeah, he said that was pretty interesting. Just old road stories that are always fun to hear.
Yeah. Well, it's like I kind of agree with him at that point. Like, I love comic books as far as
The physical medium.
No.
Oh.
I love the stories. I love the characters. Like, all of that, Batman, not Superman, but Batman, Green Arrow, The Thing, Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, aka Constantine, Sandman, et cetera, et cetera. All of these characters that were made in this genre, this visual medium that had words with it, because comics are, in my opinion, more visual than they are words.
It's art.
I love all of that. I hate 32-page comic books.
Oh,
It's
buy
like the individual
novels.
the individual monthlies.
Yeah.
I used to collect them. I can't stand them anymore.
Yep.
It's
Because then you have to wait for fucking ever.
well, one, you have to wait. Like, I would rather get,
And if there's one thing comic book artists are not good at, it is putting issues out on time.
especially certain artists,
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman. No offense.
Oh, but his shit's worth
but
waiting
it's
for.
always worth it.
Yeah. It only took him how many years to continue Sandman? What are you talking about?
20
It's
something.
fine. Man's been busy.
Yeah.
Marrying Amanda Palmer.
And writing a shitload of awesome novels.
Yeah.
And co-writing for Doctor Who.
And
Being fucking rad.
yeah.
He was on Arthur, you guys. The Aardvark show on PBS. He had a guest spot.
But
Yeah.
but like I would rather pick up, like, for example, Sandman. I would rather pick up, instead of the individual issues of, say, Brief Lives, the story arc Brief Lives, I would rather just buy.
You said that, and I pictured the cover.
Yeah, I had the poster in my room for years.
I hate you.
And I would rather just pick up that graphic novel of Brief Lives and read the whole story through. And like with Comixology now is, I think it's nice because, like, I could say, I don't have to worry about not finding an issue of, say I wanted to go pick up the Gotham, the Gotham PD detective, the one about the Gotham PD comic book. Like, all of those are now for the, started with the New 52. They're all on Comixology. I can go back, pick up every issue, and start from the beginning and read them. I don't, and I can wait 6 months or a year after I finish, then go pick up another chunk. And
See,
they're always going to be
some
there.
things I feel like that. For like my Neil Gaiman collection, for me, half the fun of the fact that I've decided I need to own all the things that he has done, I won't buy them off Amazon. I want to find them in a goddamn comic book store. Like, I want to go in and I want to find. It's like a treasure hunt. When it's something like that, where you're trying to build a collection, it's different than just reading it for the story, I think.
Yeah.
Because like with my Neil Gaiman stuff, I want the treasure hunt.
Well, it's okay. I have 1 through 75 of Sandman.
Oh no, I have all of the Sandman in graphic novel form.
Yeah.
And I have.
Well, I have all 75. Well, technically it's 74 comic books because 2
Yeah.
issues were combined into one book.
I have all but one of the supplemental books. I don't have the one. It looks like an old, like an old Japanese painting or something like that, like the Dream Hunters or something like that.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't own a copy of
I
it.
don't have that one. I've got the Death books. I've got the Little Endless. I've got the art book. I've got the book that came out after the fact. I've got them all. I could probably go online and find that other book.
But the hunt's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah. No, I get what you're coming from with that. But
I
that's,
may break down and special order it from a comic book shop, but that's as close as I'll come.
Right. But that's also a specific artist, and he's more. It's not just but Neil Gaiman is also more than just Sandman.
Yeah, I have a very
Whereas,
big attachment to this.
I'm talking about like any comic I'd be interested in.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't gone to a new comic book day in probably 8 years.
But yeah. Anyway,
that was fun.
That was a good tangent.
Yeah. Well done. So CM Punk broke the internet quite literally. I mean, because that's pretty much all my news feed was talking about was his being picked up by UFC. And on top of that, JDF, Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger, first thing he does is come out and say, I want to fight him.
Okay, I would watch that.
I would watch that, yeah.
And because Jason David Frank is World Series of Fighting MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And he's good at what he does, and he's been pining to go to UFC for quite some time. And him and Punk are, I think he's a little bit older than Punk, like maybe 3 or 4 years. But
well, they're probably both in their late 30s or 40s at this point.
Well, Punk's 35.
Okay.
Maybe 36 at this point, but and JDF's I think he's approaching 40.
Yeah.
But obviously
they're still
both are in superior shape.
Well, they're both in still in shape, and you can still be a very competent professional fighter in your 30s and 40s, no problem.
If he's 35 and getting into it.
I would throw money at my TV for that fight. That's all I'm saying. Like
that wouldn't accomplish a whole lot.
No, it wouldn't. No, it
but
would.
if
you do that, it's right there in your living room. You can pick it right back up.
That's true.
And throw it again and pretend it's more money.
Yep.
Look how much money I have for you, TV.
Just show me this. I want to see CM Punk take
I'm
on
making
the Green
it
Ranger.
rain for you.
All right, so
It's snowing.
List time.
Yes.
Now, do we want it? We're 53 minutes in.
Let's just keep going with this
keep
one.
Keep going? Okay.
Keep on
We only
swimming,
got 5 items each.
swimming.
Yep.
What do? We swim.